Paris Saint-Germain winger Ousmane Dembélé won the Ballon d'Or on Monday as a reward for his starring role in the club's Champions League triumph last season, while Spain's Aitana Bonmati claimed the women's prize for the third year in a row. Dembélé, 28, edged out Barcelona sensation Lamine Yamal to succeed Manchester City and Spain midfielder Rodri, who took the trophy in 2024, as the winner of the most prestigious individual prize in football, an award that for many years had been dominated by Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Former Borussia Dortmund and Barcelona forward Dembélé, who was part of the France team that won the World Cup in 2018, scored 35 goals in all competitions, as PSG claimed a French league and cup double, as well as winning the Champions League, with Dembélé converted into a center forward. Following Kylian Mbappe's departure for Real Madrid, PSG went on to hammer Inter Milan 5-0 in the final in Munich to win the European Cup for the first time in their history. I really don't have the words. It was an incredible season with PSG, an emotional Dembélé said on the stage at the Théâtre du Châtelet in central Paris. He added that his boss Luis Enrique, who won the award for Club Coach of the Year, had been like a father to him. It is an individual trophy, but it was really the collective that won it, insisted Dembélé, who was one of 9 members of the triumphant PSG team from last season to be nominated for the prize. Ballon d'Or has not really been an objective for me in my career, but I worked hard for the team to win the Champions League. The 18-year-old Yamal, who was a teammate of Dembélé's at Barcelona when he first broke through in 2023, did earlier win the Copa Trophy for the best player aged under 21. The second year running he has taken that award. Dembélé was at the ceremony to pick up his prize while his PSG teammates were losing 1-0 in a Ligue 1 game in Marseille at the same time. That match had been scheduled for Sunday but was put back 24 hours due to bad weather in the south of France, 3 in a row Barcelona. And Spain midfielder Bonmati won the women's prize by edging out her international teammate Mariona Caldente, with whom she played in the Spain side, who were beaten on penalties by England in the Women's Euro 2025 final. Bonmati, 27, also lost the Women's Champions League final with her club last season at the hands of Caldente's Arsenal. Bonmati was named player of the tournament at the Euros, despite not starting either of Spain's first 2 matches as she recovered from a bout of viral meningitis. "I am very proud," said Bonmati, who credited her teammates for their role in her personal triumph. "I think I am here for the 3rd consecutive time because of the teams I play in. So all of this is because of them." Alessia Russo, one of the nominees from the triumphant England European Championship team and also of Arsenal, came 3rd. Bonmati's run of 3 in a row follows back-to-back victories for her. Barcelona and Spain teammate Alexia, Putellastant Norway's Ada Hegerberg, and USA star Megan Rapinoe are the only other players to have won the women's Ballon d'Or since it was introduced in 2018. The Ballon d'Or is voted for by a panel of journalists, one from each of the top 100 countries in the FIFA World Rankings for the men, and from the top 50 for the women. Vicky Lopez, the 19-year-old forward who is a teammate of Bonmati's with Barcelona and Spain, was named Best Young Women's Player. Gianluigi Donnarumma, who excelled in the PSG team that swept all aside last season before moving to Manchester City, claimed the Yashin Trophy for Best Goalkeeper. England's Euro winner Hannah Hampton claimed the Best Women's Goalkeeper award, while her international manager Serena Wiegman was named Best Women's Coach. It wasn't supposed to be him. Not after the injuries. Not after the years of criticism. Not after he'd been written off more times than he made the starting 11. But on the grandest stage in world football, when the lights dimmed and the music played, an entire sport watched in awe. As Ousmane Dembélé stepped up, not just to receive football's most coveted prize, but to change the face of it forever. Because on that night, it wasn't just about the Ballon d'Or, it was about a boy from Vernon, France, the son of Mauritanian and Senegalese immigrants, a devout Muslim, a quiet, misunderstood talent who had become the first black Muslim to ever raise that golden orb to the heavens. This is how he got there. When Ousmane Dembélé was a child, he was electric. Not just on the pitch, but in the streets, through the hallways of his family's modest apartment, in the narrow alleys where boys played barefoot with dented balls and big dreams. He was fast, unpredictable, laughing one second and gone in a blur the next. His mother, Fatimata, would walk him to practice in rainstorms and freezing winds. She believed there was something divine in how he played, and maybe she wasn't wrong, because even then, you could tell, Dembélé didn't play football so much as dance with it. He glided. He never looked like he was trying, just flowing. But France didn't make it easy for kids like him. The system always seemed eager to categorize him. Too fragile, too reckless, too erratic. Despite his flair, several academies passed on him. Scouts muttered he couldn't be coached, that he was a risk. He finally got his shot at Rennes. And when he did, it was like a pressure valve popped. Goals, assists, nutmegs, mad sprints. He was unpredictable in a way defenders feared. And fans adored. At 19, he was in Dortmund. Then the big one, a $105 million move to Barcelona. One of the most expensive transfers in history. It should have been the beginning of a decade of dominance. Instead, it nearly broke him. Barcelona was chaos in motion. Aging superstars, boardroom battles, tactical uncertainty. And in the middle of it all, a young black Muslim kid with the weight of a century-old club pinned on his shoulders. Pressure makes diamonds, but it can also crush potential. Dembélé's body began to betray him. Hamstrings tore like paper. Quads snapped under the spotlight. Commentators mocked his fragility. Headlines turned cruel. He was late to training, rumored to be undisciplined. The narrative shifted. He was a failed wonder kid. A ghost of promise, but what most people didn't see was that he never complained, not once. Through every setback, he showed up. Quietly, humbly, faithfully, not just to the training ground, but to life. His religion gave him something football couldn't: patience, perseverance, perspective. He prayed. He healed. And above all, he waited. Years passed. And slowly, something changed. He stayed out of the limelight. But inside, he was transforming. Not just rehabbing injury, but reshaping his game, his mind, his focus. Once known for his raw chaos, Dembélé began to play with intent. He became two-footed, not just capable, but elite with both feet. A winger who could cross or shoot from either side, read defenses like a veteran, and still had the speed to incinerate fullbacks. He left Barcelona not in shame, but in evolution. Paris Saint-Germain picked up a player who wasn't just looking to restart, but to arrive. And under Luis Enrique, he was reborn. No longer the flashy kid, now a leader in silence. Assisting, scoring, tracking back, directing play, earning love quietly in a city that had once doubted him. And then came the 2025 season. There are rare seasons when the game bends to a single player. When it feels like the ball obeys them, that was Dembélé in 2025. He wasn't just the fastest, he was the smartest. He stopped chasing the highlight and started chasing greatness. 47 goal contributions, titles, Champions League performances that made defenders look like training cones. A Euro 2024 campaign where he led from the wings and whispered his way into folklore. And perhaps what made it all more poetic was how uncelebratory he was about it all. While others pointed to themselves, Dembélé pointed upward, every goal followed by quiet thanks. No screaming, no chest thumping, just grace. In a football era that's grown louder with every TikTok, he was a man of few words and many acts. Even as nominations came in, he remained silent. But the world was speaking for him. There was no one better in the world. Not that year. Maybe not ever for what he represented. When Ballon d'Or night arrived, the cameras panned to him. Elegant suit, eyes low. He didn't expect it then. The announcement. For the first time, a black Muslim born in the banlieues of France, raised by a single mother, laughed off by media, doubted by doctors, counted out by coaches, had been named the best player in the world. And in that moment, you could see, this wasn't just for him. This was for the sons of immigrants, for the boys in the cities, for the quiet kids who pray 5 times a day and dare to dream 6, for every young player who speaks more with his feet than his mouth, for every misunderstood genius the world almost gave up on. He stood there, holding the Ballon d'Or, and didn't say much, just thanked his mother, thanked God, thanked his teammates, but behind his eyes was something you couldn't quite describe. A calm, years in the making. Ousmane Dembélé had been broken, doubted, mislabeled, and dismissed. But he never left his path. He never abandoned his faith. He never forgot where he came from, and in the end, he didn't just win football's highest prize, he changed what it could look like, what it could mean. That night, he didn't lift the Ballon d'Or for himself. He lifted it for all those who were never expected to touch it, and in doing so, he touched something even greater, legacy.